The new Sony FX5 is here, and I'm afraid that many of us cinematographers are about to waste the next 6 months talking about it. Ooh, the new internal RAW, or ooh, open gate, or where's the SDI port? These are just breadcrumbs. And the camera industries want you to chase breadcrumbs. They want you to be talking about what's the next camera you should buy. But really, we should be talking about what's the next production you want to be on. This is the biggest difference between chasing equipment and trying to build your career. Here, let's get into it. Here's something I learned pretty on in my career. The moment that you have to defend your camera choice, you've already lost. And what I mean by that is, the moment you have to explain to production companies why your camera can do just enough, or is as good as, or has open gate also like, or has dual native. The moment that you have to defend your camera, you've already lost. No big production has any time for you saying, this is why this camera could do just as good a job as the one you're familiar with. Now, I haven't thrown any camera specifically underneath the bus, but we all know the camera that everyone's referring to. It's the ARRI platform. From the ARRI 35 to the Mini LF to the classic Alexa Mini. These are what productions are used to because it brings certainty. And when there's enough money on the line, a production company does not care about why technically your $4,000 camera or maybe the new $5,600 Sony FX5 has some amazing capabilities. They want certainty. I see this even as a red V-Raptor owner. There's only really the 3 top dogs. It's definitely Alexa at the top, followed by more productions than more than not the Sony Venice 2, and then you have the V-Raptor. And we could talk about their strengths and weaknesses, but nothing compares to the certainty you get and the familiarity and the crew workings and all the ins and outs of this top dog platform, the ARRI. Even as a red V-Raptor owner, I often have to explain to production why we're going with that camera. You still have to explain to them why we're shooting in this 8K resolution because they need that crop down for social media, or maybe because it does have, without getting the details of dynamic range or slow motion better than, it doesn't matter. I know this might upset a few of you because you can't afford an ARRI. Well, guess what? The good news is you don't need to buy one. Start working your way towards productions that are shooting on that type of camera. And this is something that I already knew when I was just getting out of college, that I would like to be associated with productions at this caliber versus a smaller caliber. Here, let me explain. When I was leaving college, DSLRs were everywhere. They were making big, beautiful images and punching way above their weight. And they made their way on so many different types of commercials, corporate videos, or even some feature films. But they also were the top dog for your wedding videographer. No shot to you if you are a wedding videographer. But for me, I was trying to aim and align my career towards bigger commercials and eventually narrative feature films. And I had this association between smaller camera bodies and be associated with smaller productions. Whether you want to believe that or not, I do believe that is currently what is still going on. Yes, the Sony FX5 or the Sony FX3 that I'm shooting on right now can shoot an amazing image, and arguably is better than many cameras out there to this day, especially with the triple base ISO. We don't want to get into breadcrumbs. But when you're just working on a workflow of a camera body this small, you're missing out on building what is more important, and that is your career. That is your network. These bigger productions have a whole lot more people and opportunities for you to connect and grow your network. And one of my big breaks came when I got the position as a camera intern / PA. This was a camera assistant's assistant. And it was for a feature film called Greater. You can check it out on Netflix, or maybe it's on Amazon Prime now. It was a fun movie, but what I was drawn to it the most was the Alexa Classic platform, and there was 3 cameras shooting that feature film, and I knew it was an opportunity for me to learn that ecosystem and to want to be a part of my first feature film. That movie did way more for my career than me investing into a $5,000 DSLR body or mirrorless body. It created a network of people from this feature film that I still stay in contact to this day. Even the cinematographer of that feature film became my mentor. Here's the big distinction. I wasn't chasing the Alexa, I was chasing productions that were using the Alexa. That level of filmmaking, the crews, the expectations, the challenges, the directors, the budgets. And I think that's the distinction that a lot of us young cinematographers have been missing. Somewhere along the way, they've got confused with equipment goals versus career goals. And this brings us to the breadcrumbs versus pie analogy. The new Sony FX5 is not necessarily just breadcrumbs, but the camera industry in and of itself needs to make money. And we do need them, and we need them to keep making, innovating, and creating awesome new equipment. But when you're just trying to find the next thing that might level up your career, you're chasing breadcrumbs. Start focusing on the pie that's on the other table. That is your career. That is your network. That is taking that $5,000 that you were about to invest on the new Sony FX5 and go to, let's say, NAB if you're in the States, or maybe visit a bunch of film festivals. Put some of that money towards maybe a short film project that you can bring into film festivals. Go meet up with new directors, production companies, and go tour every rental house in your network. I've done this trip to each rental house in all of St. Louis, Kansas City, and I did a special trip into Chicago where I met every single rental house and dropped off a 6-pack of beer from St. Louis. Now, that's not necessarily the currency these days, but back then, a little 6-pack goes a long way. I don't know anything about that here, but was a big fan back then. Real quick, we got Caldi's Coffee from St. Louis, the Peru Rutas del Inca. Smells awesome. Here's where the FX5 does make sense. Now, I currently am shooting on a Sony FX3, and it's been great and does great for this kind of stuff. And it was great for the productions that called for that camera, and I knew I'd make my money back on these 3 back-to-back productions if I invested in the camera and rented it to the production. If these productions come along again, that they're saying, hey, for some reason, we really want to shoot the Sony FX5 and we've got this many days that you can rent it to it and we might make your money back, then yes, I will upgrade that camera. But I'm not chasing the next camera body because it has open gate or triple base ISO. I try to match the right camera to production each and every time. And more often than not, it's the Alexa Mini, Mini LF, or the Alexa 35. If you're someone who is ready to buy a camera and you have been waiting all this time and you were thinking about the Sony FX3, then that's when I would say skip it, get the FX5. And I know some of you might be pushing back, but here's the difference. While you're watching your 6th or 7th video on the Sony FX5, someone else has been watching 6 or 7 videos on the Wandering DP podcast and trying to get better at their skills. Or maybe someone has had 6 or 7 more new meetings with different directors, or have read 6 or 7 different scripts. The big thing is I don't want you chasing camera goals, I want you chasing career goals. And we're so caught up because it's pretty and good marketing about our camera equipment and camera goals when really there's no company out there who's promoting for you. It's time to take it seriously and go invest into your network of people, whether that's locally or maybe go to the next biggest city near you where you know production's happening. That's pretty great. I got one more point to wrap this all up. So here's what I want you to do. Stop telling me what camera you want to buy and start telling me where you want your career to go. I'm just speaking from experience on what and why I did not chase camera equipment, but rather got to network with people, go to different cities, learned all the different production companies and creative agencies, and reach out to them. Work on your website. Google Paul Myers ASC and look at his work. Go to the Wandering DP podcast and listen to the over 500 episodes. Start investing in yourself, investing in your capabilities of lighting, understanding camera movements, and growing your network from directors to crew. Learn who's the best ACs in all the town and go get them some coffee. Find out who the gaffers are and grab them a beer. Your network is way more important than the constant hours upon hours you're spending obsessing over the new Sony FX5 Or maybe the new Canon that'll come out if you obsess over that kind of thing, which I don't think very many people do, but that's okay. With all that being said, bravo to Sony. They've made a great camera. I just want to make sure people understand that this camera is not going to change the game for you. You have to change the game for yourself, and you have to do that with others. If you want to see more of my work, you can check out stevenscgreathouse.com. Thanks for watching. Peace. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks. Peace.